I'm going to show you how to communicate with the spirit right now. If some of you out there are struggling to communicate with the spirit world and you want to become a medium, there's only a couple reasons why it's not happening for you. And it's not because it's difficult, all right? You've been lied to. Anybody who tells you that you need to practice, that you need to open your third eye, that you need to do all of these things to communicate with the spirit world or to come into your abilities, we're all born with it. We're all spirits. And of course, we can talk to other spirits. But there are a couple things that are holding people back. And I think one of the biggest ones is expectations. And it's because of the way a lot of these big name mediums that are out there on TV, the way that they portray things, okay? It's not really accurate how they're showing you spirit communication. The way that you actually hear a spirit is the same way that you hear your thoughts, okay? It's not with your physical ears that you're hearing the spirit. It's the same way that you hear your thoughts, except it's not a thought that you're thinking. It's a thought that you're receiving, all right? The spirit's energy is emanating this different vibration, this different frequency. And depending on what it's wanting to communicate, that will change. And you're able to feel that change in energy. You're able to feel that intention, that vibration of what the spirit is communicating. And that's what the medium feels, okay? And so you have the same capability to feel that, right? You ever walk into a room and just know somebody's in a bad mood, like you can feel it? That's the same thing. You're feeling the energy, right? And so the spirit world communicates the same way, except instead of feeling the type of mood they're in, you can feel what the spirit world is saying, all right? And so that's what it's like to hear a spirit. In order to, what it's like to actually see a spirit is you see a spirit in your mind's eye, okay? It's not like this apparition, right? You're not seeing them stand in front of you like you're seeing me, all right? That can happen. Like, I do want to acknowledge it that can happen, but it's really rare. And it's called a physical manifestation or an apparition. And if that happens, anyone who's around is going to see it because we're seeing with our objective eyes. The way that we actually see a spirit is in our mind's eye. All right. And what's happening is, again, that spirit's energy is emanating. It's painting this image in our mind's eye and we receive it. It's like a visualization. It's like a memory. And that's what it looks like. Okay. That's what it looks like. It looks like this memory, except it's not a memory that you're thinking about. It's not a visualization that you're conjuring up. It's an actual image that you're receiving. And you can receive images or fragmented images or even like these movie clips, right? You can actually see the spirit kind of moving around and or doing different things or playing out different scenarios. You know, that's the other thing. A spirit can answer you. Many times when I connect with the spirit world, it's not so much that I'm hearing them, right? That does happen quite often. But when I ask them a question, it's almost like I get this movie clip dropped into my head with the answer, right? So if I ask a spirit, tell me about what it looked, tell me about the place that you lived. I'll get like an aerial view of their house, right? And that sometimes that I'll get this like I'm getting a perspective from a drone flying through their house, right? Or doing like a virtual tour. That's kind of what it's like. And so that's a spirit will answer a question like that a lot of the times. Even when I ask a spirit, like, how did you pass? Sometimes they'll just show me them laying in the hospital bed and the different monitors that are hooked up and then the flat line and them grabbing their chests, right? And so sometimes you'll actually see what you're asking. And I think that that's the expectations that kind of get out of line when people are trying to communicate with the spirit world. I think that's kind of what hold a lot of people back is, number one, they're seeing these sensationalized TV mediums that are way exaggerating things. And, the way that when the spirit world communicates, a lot of people aren't open or don't really know how the information is going to flow to them. Okay, so that's one of the ways, right? So there's a couple other things, and I'm going to walk you through it too. One of the things that I tell people that, especially that have recently lost somebody, is to just go do something that you guys enjoy doing together, right? That alone will allow you to really feel their presence, right? If you had a favorite restaurant where you would just go and you would sit and you guys would have a good time, go and get a spot. Right? Go to the restaurant, make a reservation, sit there and eat and just feel into their presence sitting there with you, right next to you. And you will. you will start to pick up on them. And that's the most important piece of spirit communication, is feeling that presence. Because what happens is when you're feeling their presence is you're feeling their energy. All right. You're picking up on that energy. And if you're feeling their energy, you 100% can communicate with them, because that energy is what communicates. That energy is projecting itself. Your energy is picking it up. You are feeling it. And then your psychic senses turn it into something that your brain can understand. All right. That's why I hear a lot of the, advice out there from traditional spiritual teachers, saying you've got to get your brain out of it. You got to get ego out of it. You've got to stay focused. You've got to meditate. You've got to get your thoughts in your head out of it. No, that's all part of it. It really is all part of it. Your ego is your personality, right? That's your filter. If you didn't have an ego, you would be all monotone. You would have no affect or emotion, right? And that's not how we want to connect with our loved ones. That's not how we want to experience them. And the same thing with our brain. We need to understand it logically. We need to understand the connection logically. That's what makes it so vivid. That's what makes it so easy to connect when you're not fighting your thoughts and you're not fighting your brain and you're just allowing it to be a part of the experience rather than fight it. Okay. And so we want to, acknowledge that, right? And yes, I do, I'm not somebody that's blindly trust and believe in what you get. No, that's a form of spiritual gaslighting, right? Where we gaslight ourselves into believing that everything is a sign and everything is a communication and that none of it was made up. No, we do make shit up sometimes. It happens. We know our loved one. We know the things that they say. We know what they would do. And sometimes that does occur. But you can make those times fewer and far in between, and you can also get validation. You can 100% connect with your loved one without feeling like you're making it up, without wondering, well, was that really them or was that really me, right? And it all comes down to that feeling of their energy. Because when they project something and you receive it, it feels completely different than when you're in your head and you're making it up. Okay? And so like I said, that's why I believe it is the most important part of all of this. Ellen, welcome. Thank you guys for coming on in. I appreciate all of the love and just seeing who's all in here today. Quite a few. Is the butterfly feeling in the tummy a response to the question I asked Spirit? Yeah, a lot of times that is, right? That's the energy. Our body's like a tuning fork. And when we speak to the spirit world and we receive some communication back, we're going to experience things, sensations, bodily sensations like butterflies in the tummy, like crawling of the skin, hair standing up, tingles, right? Feeling the wind blow on the back of your neck, feeling wind blow on your skin, temperature changes. One of the things that I get is this expansiveness in my chest. I feel like I'm just floating up and it feels amazing, this wonderful euphoric feeling, right? There's this zap of energy that runs through you. That's all you're experiencing, all of that with your physical sensations. That's why our physical body, our humanness, is a huge part of spirit communication. That's how we do it here from the non-physical, from this third dimensional reality. Now, when we're both in the spirit world, right? When everybody's in the spirit world and we're not connecting here, it's instant. The communication has no delay. Everything is happening all at once. All right. Time and space, it gets complex and super woo. So if you have questions about that, I'm happy to directly address that. But that starts to go way beyond the stuff I normally talk about, but I'm happy to address. So from this third dimensional reality, that's the way that we have to bring in our humanness. It is part of our energy. It is part of the way that we feel, that we communicate with the spirit world from here. Okay. So that's the other piece of it, right? So we address the two things. Okay. It's expectations and it's feeling energy. All right. And feeling energy, feeling your loved one's energy and presence is very important, but it's not as important as acknowledging and feeling your own energy. Okay, and we're going to do an exercise here in a second to show you what I mean. So we are with our energy all day long. We are constantly in our own energy, so we don't notice it. We don't really know what our own what our own energy feels like. And so we need to be able to take time, right? If you're coming into this and you're new to spirit communication, right? Or even if you've done this before, right? And you've taken courses, you've read books, you've done all this stuff, you know, um, this is going to take it to the next level for you. Is sitting and feeling your own energy. Make some time, take some space, do it every day. Just sit and feel, just focus on your body and notice what you're feeling. Notice the sensations that you're picking up, right? Notice the flutter in the chest. Notice the hairs standing up. Notice like the spots of your body that feel good and loose. Notice the spots that feel tight and constricted, right? Just focus on the sensations that you're feeling in your body. That is your energy. All right, that is your energy. Even when you feel these pains and, if you have lower back pain or neck pain, that is a part of your energy. That's why you're feeling it. It's a part of your nerves. It's a part of your nervous system. Our nervous system is electrical, right? Our nerves are electrical, right? And so you're experiencing that, and it's, the electricity that's interacting with your body. It's the energy interacting with your body that's delivering that sensation of pain. It's part of our energy. Just like if you scan your body, you will notice parts that feel very good also and expansive, and that is part of our energy as well, okay? And so understanding what your own energy feels like is very important, because once you know what you feel like, you immediately recognize when there's a change in the energy around you, right? Not only just when a spirit is present, no, not only when your loved ones come, but you also feel the vibe in the area. You feel exactly when something's off. You know exactly what it is and exactly what you need to do to create harmony in your environment again. Same thing in your life. You're so tuned into your life and your own energy. Like when something changes out of the norm, you tune into it. Is this for me? Is this for my good, or is this a red flag that I'm starting to sense? And then you can adjust properly and accordingly, okay? And so that's the benefit, right? It's twofold to knowing your own energy. Number one is you're going to be able to tell in your own life what's going on and things that are coming up in your life and your own energy. You're going to be able to sense the energy in your environment. You're going to be able to sense the energy of your decisions. You're going to be able to sense the energy of other people. Okay. And their intentions and all of that stuff, right? All of that comes together, right? You notice it because you're so familiar with your own energy. And so when there's an energy that's different, you feel it, And so when you call on your loved ones, when you ask your loved ones to visit you, time and space doesn't exist in the spirit world. They are everywhere, everywhere. All planes, all dimensions, everywhere. Okay. And so when you ask them to come, they're there immediately, right away. And when you start thinking of them, you will feel them. You will notice that shift in energy immediately. You will feel their presence. And so that's why, it's so important to get familiar with our own energy first, so we can recognize the second something changes. All right. It's pretty cool, huh? Does that make sense? Does everybody get that? Do you understand? Let me know in the comments. Do you understand, or ask questions if you don't? Do you understand like what it's like to feel energy? Right? And I'll tell you in a minute. Like I said, we're gonna do an exercise here in a second. But go ahead and if you're following me so far, let me know in the comments that you got this, or let me know if you have any questions. And then once I understand where we are, we'll go ahead and do an exercise, and I'll show you exactly what I mean about feeling and becoming aware of your own energy. Thank you, Vanessa. Ashley, I think I got it. Just started following. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, so Ellen, you feel it too. You feel that lightness. Yeah. Okay, yes. We are like tuning forks. Absolutely. What's the middle back? I hear it's because I'm afraid of change. No, there is no. So I'm not, you'll never hear me speak in a way that's symbolic, where if you have this thing happen, this is what it means. That to me, like it's been like once you are so confident in your abilities, you start tuning into things, you will see that there is no universal meaning for anything. So if you're feeling something in your back, you need to bring an awareness every time you feel something in your back to see what it is. You need to investigate, not automatically assume. Same thing when you guys are seeing the repeating numbers. Right? Same things when you're seeing the signs that you believe are from your loved ones, the cardinals, the pennies, the feathers, all of those things. Look, those can be signs, but they're less about a universal meaning and more about the energetic realms showing up and saying, hey, I'm right here. I'm saying hi. And it's more about connecting with them and using that. No, this is the way that I want you to think about it. When you get any kind of sign, it's just the doorbell ringing. You need to go answer it and see who's there. Okay? Because it's going to be different. There's no one universal meaning for anything that happens. And I will say that's the most, that's the most asked question that I get, right? Fill in the blank. What does that mean? Right? I'm telling you, it's so often, and it's valid, right? Because some of these things we experience all the time. And it's really valid that we want to know what the meaning of those things are. But it can change from time to time. It can be different from person to person. It can change from spirit to spirit. It can be something different every single time you experience it. So you must tune into that energy of that sign and investigate and find out what it is. So the four cardinals on Thanksgiving was my mama and grandparents. It could have been. If you felt like so here's the thing. If you feel like it's a sign, if you're like boom and you get this like sensation, like this download, this gut feeling, this knowing, I know this is my mom and my grandparents, then yes, that is most likely them. But they're not trying to give you a message. They're not saying four cardinals means this, honey. What they're saying is they're like, knock, knock, we're right here. Come answer the door, let's talk. Right? That's what it's all about. Feel a hand on my back. Yeah. How do we know we are feeling? You feel it in your body. It's like a sensation. It's a physical sensation. Rose scents. Yeah, so scents are another one, right? That we have. So we have 7 psychic senses. All right. And just to define things for you guys, I will use the term psychic senses and spiritual abilities interchangeably. Okay. There's all kinds of fancy words out there for them. A lot of them are like clair this, clair that, sensitivity, ESP, all of the same stuff. It means all of the same stuff. I am very practical about it. Our abilities are energetic seeing, energetic hearing, energetic feeling, energetic knowing or gut feeling, energetic empathy, energetic taste, energetic smell. All right. And so there's 7: seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing, empathy, taste, and smell. And absolutely, we will smell the roses of our loved one. We will smell our loved one's perfume. We will smell the pipe that they smoke, the cigarettes that they smoke. That is a form of us picking up on the energy. All right. Let me demonstrate for you guys real quick. Let's do a real quick exercise. I want to show you what it's like to experience your energy, right? This is what it's like. This is how you begin to experience your energy. All right. And your spiritual abilities for that matter, and your psychic senses. This is how you do it. All right. It's less about like any kind of exercise, or it has nothing to do with any kind of exercise or special technique or secret method that you're missing. It's about awareness. So let me show you what I mean. Just put your hand on your heart right now. Put it in the middle of your chest and just focus on your chest for a second. Focus on your heart. Start to attune with your heartbeat. Start to feel your heartbeat, the rhythm, and kind of sync up with the rhythm in your mind. And just feel it, that thump, 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 thump. And begin to notice it and really become aware of your heart. Okay, before I asked you to feel your heart and feel your heartbeat, you had no idea that you had a heart or that your heart was even beating. You had no idea until you brought an awareness to it. That's exactly how we feel our own energy. We just bring an awareness to our body and we will start to feel things, not just our heartbeat. We'll start to feel energy moving through our body. We'll start to feel the tingles. We'll start to feel the tightness, the lightness, the opening up, right? All of these different sensations, they'll be different for people. We'll start to get the ears ringing, right? The eyebrow twitching, the little things on the top of the head, right? You start to get all of those things and more when you bring an awareness, and what you're doing is you're feeling energy. You are feeling your energy. And when you feel another energy like your loved one, those sensations change. They usually will intensify and start like moving around and dancing in your body because your loved one's energy is interacting with your energy. And it starts to change things. It starts to change the frequency. And then even when they speak, the change is even more different than when they first showed up and you're just feeling presence, because them speaking is changing the frequency on everything as well, right? And picking up on that frequency is what we do with our 7 psychic senses. And then between those 7 senses, they interpret they interpret the information, the energy that we're picking up on into something our brain can understand. And in order to come into those different abilities, it's the same thing as the heartbeat thing. It's just becoming aware of your abilities. The spirit world is all around you right now. There is no separate place. All of the dimensions are here. They're together. They're like a big weave in one spot. The spirit world is as much a part of this world as this world is a part of the spirit world. Okay, so you got all of it happening around you already, and it's about bringing an awareness to what's happening already. It's not about a secret technique. It's not about some kind of special thing that you're missing. It's not about it being in your family. It's not about a chakra, a third eye. It's not about visualizing energy or moving things through your body. It's not. It's just about awareness. Okay? Does that make sense? Does a heartbeat thing, like the bringing an awareness, does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that? I should have brought my water. Okay, yes. Looks like you guys are getting it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good. So that should be enough to help you guys start to have a connection, okay? That should be enough to help you guys start to have a connection, start to connect with your loved ones. If you can just sit there and feel what's coming up in your body, and then you ask your loved one to come, you're gonna feel something change right away, all right? And then you ask questions, right? Because when you're feeling their energy, it's like all the information's coming at once, right? And it's coming so fast and so much of it, we just miss it all. And so if you ask questions, you will pick up on the answer because it is already coming through the energy. All right. And then when you pick up on the answer, you're able to respond accordingly, respond to their answer. And now this conversation is flowing very naturally. And it all happens through that feeling, noticing what's happening, and then how are you receiving the information? Are you seeing it? Are you hearing it? Are you feeling it? Are you getting the download, knowing it? Are you feeling the emotion behind it? Are you smelling it? Are you tasting it? It can come through any one of those, any few of those, or all of them at once. So if you're just like, if you ask a question and you're expecting to like get the answer, like hear it or receive it, you know, like we talked about earlier, hearing spirit world is like hearing a thought, but it's a thought you receive, not a thought that you think. If that's what you're expecting, but it's coming through imagery or it's coming through feeling or it's coming through a download, you are going to miss all of that. So you have to just sit there and feel and allow the information to open up however it does for your senses. And here's what happens when you do that. You'll pick up on the first thing. Maybe it's a download. Boom, you get a download, a piece of information. Then all of a sudden, that piece of information brings a vision. And now that vision starts to bring a response. And now you're starting to hear them talk. And now that you're hearing them talk, you're getting more downloads, you're getting new visions of them. And now the wave of emotion comes. You feel the love, you feel the happy, you feel the joy, you feel the connection. And then boom, it's like this wave of energy just picks you up and the conversation is just flowing. We have to build up to that, and it can happen very quickly if you just let your expectations to the side and allow it to come however it does. Okay? I hate to say you have no control over how it happens, because you do. But if you try to control how it happens, it won't happen at all. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's the first time I've said it that way. I should probably write that down. That makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? You can control the experience. You just can't control how it happens. Any questions? Good, I'm glad it's making sense. How do I know I got aware on energetic knowing? Does that mean you can see future or what? Yeah, so seeing the future is tricky. All right, and I'm not sure about your first part of your question, so feel free to, if I'm not answering your question, feel free to ask it again. But as far as seeing the future goes, yeah, we can absolutely see the future, but it gets tricky. It gets very tricky because the further out you look, the more that it can change. You aren't the only one in here that's creating energy, right? We're all in this collective energy soup, everybody involved. Even the planets, even the stuff we don't, and the animals, the little tiny amoeba, even the stuff in other worlds we're not even aware of. Aliens, extraterrestrials, right? We're super naive to believe that we're the only planet that has intelligent life, right? So all of everything out there is influencing energy. And so if you're looking like a year out, yeah, you'll see some stuff with clarity, but there's so many other moving parts and decisions and people involved and that can change that outcome. So the further away that you look, the more that it has a possibility to change. Now, if you're looking at things that happen tomorrow, things can really change, but you're going to be a lot more accurate, right? A lot more accurate. And I think what's my experience, when we look into our own energy and we look out to the future from our own energy, it is way more accurate than when we do it for somebody else, because it's our energy. We're so steeped in it, right? Whereas we've got to attune to somebody else's energy and then project our awareness out. All right. So it works much better when we're using it for ourselves. All right. The other piece of this too is, let me know if this is you, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are struggling, that have come into this, and are getting information overload. There's so much information here, there. You don't know who to listen to. You don't know what to trust. This person says this thing. This person says that way. This book says it to do this way. This book says it to do another way, right? And you've tried everything, right? You're out there taking courses. You're reading books. You're watching videos. You're doing everything, and nothing is working. Nothing's allowing you to have an undeniable flowing conversation with any spirit, initiating it whenever you want, doing it on command, okay? Without meditation, without all the weird rituals and all the energy stuff and chakras, right? If that's you, Let me explain something. If that is you, the reason that it's not sticking, the reason why you're not able to communicate on the level that I'm talking about, that undeniable conversation where there is no doubt, is because all of that stuff doesn't teach you your unique way of connecting. Everybody connects differently. Every single person out there connects differently. And in order for you to communicate on the level that we're talking about here, you have to find your unique way of connecting. Okay? It looks different for everybody. And so if you're following these frameworks, if you're following these things, that's why I give more generalized advice, because I want you to try the different stuff that I'm throwing at you so it can help you discover your unique way of connecting. It's not like these other books and these other things that say you have to do it this way. Step 1 through 5, do it this way or it's not going to work. It's not true. It's not working because it's not your way. That modality, that framework, those steps, it doesn't help you. Okay? You have to find your unique way of connecting. All right, and it's all through trial and error. Okay? But I do want to mention something because I do got to get running here. I got a call in a few minutes. If you want to find your unique way of connecting, if you are interested in taking things to the next level, having that flowing conversation, connecting anytime with your loved ones, with your spirit guides, with your own energy, your intuition, using it to find purpose and meaning, right? If you're interested in that, I do have a few spots open in my mentorship. I'm currently enrolling right now. It's a really good time because of the holidays, everything coming in. But listen, this is where we work together and I hold your hand and walk you into that undeniable experience. And along that journey, as we're trying different things and I'm watching how you respond and I'm tracking your energy and we're following it together. As we're doing that, I'm plotting it all. I'm tracking it all. So when you get into that undeniable experience, which is inevitable, now we have your unique way because I've tracked it. Now I can reflect it back to you. And once you have it for life. It never changes. It's always the same and it only gets easier. So if you are interested in working with me like that, you are very serious. This is the most important thing that you've got going on in your life. You have the time and the resources to dedicate towards this. Then go ahead and schedule an interview for my mentorship. All right. You can go to the link in this video, the link in my bio. You will find a link to my booking page. Go there, schedule your interview, and we will talk about it.